Coming up, X-1 and Archie Andrews. Hello there, this is Victor Ives inviting you to join me now as we turn back the clock to relive the golden moments of radio's yesteryear and bring you the greatest radio shows of all time here on the Golden Age of Radio Theater. I have no hesitancy describing our first show as one of the greatest radio shows of all time. It's X-1, especially this episode entitled Hello Tomorrow by George Lefferts. This is the show that is about mutants from an atomic war who are outcasts in a subterranean society. It is one of the best radio shows of all time. I can't necessarily say that with a straight face about Archie Andrews, but compared to television, which you could be watching, it's pretty darn good stuff. Later this hour, Archie Andrews from 1949 as Father Fred gets sunburned mowing the grass. Arthur Q. Bryan appears as Fred Andrews. But first, George Lefferts' Hello Tomorrow.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company presents X-1. Tonight's story, Hello Tomorrow. After the Third Atomic War, when the Earth was a mass of red radioactive dust, a handful of men and women went deep underground in the struggle for survival. A new civilization was built deep underground, a civilization which must keep a ceaseless vigil against the deadly gamma rays which filter down through the Earth. A civilization where the prime consideration is the genetic survival of the race. It is to this civilization in the year of our Lord, 4195, that we take you now.
Professor Lois Burton?
Yes.
I have a call from the Director of Emotional Stability for the Third Outlaw. Go ahead, sir. Hello, darling.
Hello, dear. How is the Director of Emotional Stability? My, how impressive that sounds.
Don't joke, dear. You never know who may be listening.
Sorry. How are you? You sound tired.
Well, we've had some bad cases. Mostly frantic mothers who insist on imparting their feelings to children. I suspect it's chromosomes affected by gamma ray leakage from the surface, but the head of the psychotechnic division says they're glandular cases. But that isn't why I called. I have good news.
What is it?
The genetic board has approved our application for marriage.
So soon?
Our chromosomes tested perfect. We can marry any time we want. As a geneticist, you should know that our offspring should be 90 percentile of perfection.
I know.
What's the matter? You are happy about it, aren't you?
Of course. Terribly happy.
I'm coming right over to the lab.
You'll have to give me some time.
What's the trouble?
No trouble. You know that genetic survey I've been working on?
Huh? What about it?
Well, I've finally gotten permission to study an actual living case. A specimen of imperfect genetic transmission.
Really?
They're bringing him, or it, up from the condemned cages on the lower level.
You will be careful.
There's nothing to be afraid of. The specimen is XJ12. It's been studied before many times and is quite well trained. Oh, there's my door signal. I'll have to hang up, darling. See you later. Yes?
Professor Burton?
Yes.
I'm from the Phylogenic Institute.
Oh, you brought my specimen?
May I come in?
By all means. Oh,
Horrible? It all depends on your viewpoint. I happen to have a twisted leg. My parents were genetically unsound.
But then You...
Yes, I am specimen XJ12.
I see.
I hope you aren't shocked.
No stable person permits feelings to enter into his work. I will admit to surprise. I was expecting something a little more abnormal.
Well, I try to be as abnormal as possible. It pays off. The Phylogenic Institute allows me out of the genetic cages ever so often so I can breathe the pure air of the upper levels and mingle with the genetically perfect.
You seem quite well educated.
I spent the first years of my life here in the upper levels.
How is that possible?
As a small child, my mother concealed me from the director of heredity. My mother actually, dreadful word, loved me.
That would explain your obviously low threshold of emotional control.
If you choose to call it that. You, seem to be struggling to repress a few feelings yourself.
We will confine ourselves to the impersonal aspects of our work.
As you please.
I shall require you as a demonstration for a lecture I'm delivering to one of my classes tomorrow.
At your service.
Sit here, please. Grip these electrodes tightly. I'm going to calibrate your electrochemical tension.
I'm quite familiar with the procedure. I realize that as an imperfect I am expendable, but I should hate to be electrocuted.
The charge is not lethal. Plus 15 surface tension.
You know, you have beautiful hair.
Plus 12 at a depth of 4 centimeters. My hair meets minimal requirements for the genetic code.
Lovely blue eyes. Crystal clear.
Plus 10 at 7 centimeters.
Pretty. A perfect woman. Lovely expressive hands. And a heart of stone. Like all the rest of you perfect survival types.
Shut up.
Could it be you do have feelings?
I seem to sense an air of emotional tension.
It's nothing, dear. This is a specimen.
You, specimen. Tell this dolt who I am, Lois.
This is the Director of Emotional Stability for the Third Oblong. You will address him as Mr. Director.
Mr. Director.
This creature seems quite impertinent.
He's only a specimen, darling.
Well, use him and ship him back to the cages. He's probably radioactive.
This episode of X-1 was first broadcast on Dimension X, September 15th, 1950, and was broadcast twice on X-1, first on November the 3rd, 1955, and again on February 29th, 1956. We'll continue in just a moment. Now back to our episode of X-1 about mutants from an atomic war who were outcasts in a subterranean society.
Attention, attention. The next demonstration will be conducted by Professor Lois Burton of the Institute of Genetics. Her topic, the probability of radioactive damage in the chromosome heredity of imperfect non-survival types. Professor Burton.
As you know, most imperfects are destroyed at birth. However, those who for one reason or another manage to survive are segregated in cages on the lower level for study purposes. The specimen we have today has been trained to tell in his own words about the factors in his upbringing. You will have to forgive his immature emotional control factor. He is, as you can see, quite different. Specimen XJ12. You will proceed, please.
Thank you. My mother was a psychotechnician in the Fifth Oblong. My father was an historian specializing in the records of pre-atomic surface culture. In the earthquake of 2170, apparently some hard radiation filtered down through the tunnels and penetrated the Fifth Oblong. The effect on my hereditary factors is quite apparent in this twisted leg. My father taught me in the last days before he was executed that every human personality is born with certain inalienable natural rights. The rights to have feelings, the right to mature, and above all, the right to be different from every other living organism. Because it cannot be otherwise I submit to you, distinguished students, that the attempt by this society to abridge these rights is a violation of nature. I submit that the imperfects, the mutants, those who are different, have as much right to exist and be free as you. And I say, break open the cages.
Stop him!
Give us back the right to be individuals.
Stop him!
Oh!
Perhaps that will teach you. Professor Burton, take this specimen back to your laboratory and confine him.
Hold still while I bandage your head.
Oh.
You'll be all right.
I suppose you detest me for getting you into trouble.
I don't detest you.
What?
I don't know why, but as you spoke, something began to stir in me.
Tell me what you feel. If I moved you, then I must have moved the others, some of them at least.
For some reason, I took pride in what you were doing, seeing you stand up against them. Why do you look at me like that?
I can't help it.
I wish you wouldn't. You're only an imperfect, you know. Please.
My name is Orrin.
Please.
Say it. Orrin.
Orrin.
Again.
Orrin.
Lois.
Orrin.
Lois. Lois.
How touching.
Walter.
I've been listening for some time.
Walter, how could you?
In my capacity as Director of Emotional Stability, it is my duty.
What are you going to do?
Specimen XJ12 will be disposed of quite systematically by the state. For the good of the state, for the good of the genetic code, and in the name of emotional stability.
Walter, I have to talk to you.
Go right ahead.
Walter, you mustn't destroy him.
The specimen? Why not?
He's emotionally unstable. You have to expect irrational behavior.
Aren't you forgetting something, my dear? That you were responding in much the same manner? Or had you forgotten? You see, I'm having him liquidated for your sake. He has an upsetting effect on you.
Then send him back to the cages. But don't kill him.
You speak of destroying an inferior creature as if it was something unethical.
Walter, please, for my sake.
I understand that you have entered a plea for postponement of marriage at the Records Bureau.
Yes. I was too upset to go through with it.
It came as a great disappointment to me.
I'm sorry.
I was hoping that, linked to a stable personality such as mine, you might settle down. If you were married to me, I might even be persuaded to send him back to the cages instead of having him destroyed. Think it over.
If I refuse?
The choice is yours. Well, my dear?
Perhaps you're right.
I am.
I suppose I ought to be rational about this. After all, he's an imperfect.
I'm glad you've come to your senses.
When can we be married?
Tomorrow, if you like.
The sooner the better.
Let me talk to the custodian, please. Hello. This is the Director of Emotional Stability for the Third Oblong. I would like you to cancel the execution of specimen XJ12. Turn him over to be remanded permanently to the genetic cages. You'd better go. I'll pick you up in, say, an hour, and we'll make plans. All right?
Yes. Yes, of course.
Hello. This is the Director of Emotional Stability again. I want you to cancel that last order. Proceed with the execution, but under conditions of absolute secrecy. No, don't use the lethal chamber. Take him through the upper level to the tunnels. Yes. Yes, I'll issue a pass for the radiation checkpoint. Into the elevator.
Very well. Why are we going toward the surface? The cages are on the lower levels.
Radiation check.
I've never done that before.
New procedure. Walk.
Halt. You can't go beyond this point. There is radioactivity in the tunnels.
I have a pass from the Director of Emotional Stability for the Third Oblong. Special mission.
I'll open the airlock.
March inside. Turn around.
This is how they get rid of the imperfects. Now, before you dispose of me...
Yes?
This.
Help! Security! Security!
What's happened?
The prisoner struck me. He escaped into the tunnels.
He won't last long.
Can you go after him?
I could send a robot, but it isn't worth the trouble. There's no way back from the tunnels except through here. The only other direction he can go is toward the surface. And the closer he gets, the hotter the radiation. No. I think you can consider your prisoner officially dead.
More wine?
No, thank you, Walter.
You look very beautiful, my dear. Very beautiful.
Thank you.
The wedding will be a small affair. The director of endocrine control, the chief of the security guard.
Walter,
Yes?
was he returned to the cages?
Oh, now, why must you spoil it?
Was he, Walter?
Well, as a matter of fact, there was a little difficulty.
Difficulty?
Yes, you see, XJ-12 escaped.
How? Where?
He struck a guard and ran off into the tunnels.
The tunnels. But that's sure death.
He's free to return any time he chooses. Now, don't become upset, darling.
You planned it, didn't you, Walter?
Stability, darling, stability.
Stability. Here's what I think of stability.
You're listening to X-1 on the Golden Age of Radio Theater. Now back to our episode of X-1.
Halt! State your business.
I'm Professor Burton of the Genetic Institute.
You can't go into the tunnels, Professor.
You'll have to let me by. I'm the fiancée of the Director of Emotional Stability.
Oh, I suppose you're after the one who escaped?
Yes,
He's quite dangerous, I understand.
I'm well armed.
Wouldn't it be better to send a robot?
I'm quite capable of handling him. He was my subject.
All right, miss. It's your risk. Checkpoint.
This is the Director of Emotional Stability.
Yes, sir.
If Professor Burton tries to pass the checkpoint, I want her taken into custody.
Professor Burton just passed her. She
You
said
idiot!
But, sir, she said that
I
she
don't
had...
care what you said. Stop her. Send robots after her. Get her back.
Yes, sir. At once, sir. Robot control. Checkpoint to robot control. Order out all televocal robots into the tunnels. Have them bring back any humans. This is a first priority order.
Oren! 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 Oren, where are you? Oren!
Hello?
Oren! It's Lois!
This way. Behind the rock. Over here.
Oh, darling, darling.
Lois. Lois, why did you come here? It's suicide.
I had to. Oh, darling, are you all right?
So far.
You've got to turn back. Give yourself up.
They'll kill
You
me.
can't stay here. The radiation is +4 at this point. It gets worse as you approach the surface.
Lois, darling, go back.
What will you do?
I'm going ahead.
But you can't.
I can. I'm going to the surface.
It's certain death. Not even the robots can survive it.
At least I'll be the first human in 1,100 years to see what the surface of the Earth looks like.
Come back with me.
No, Lois.
Then I'm going with you.
Lois.
Don't try to stop me, darling. There's nothing to go back to now. Nothing but Walter and emotional stability.
You really want to come with me?
Yes.
You know what it means.
I don't care.
My mother used to believe there was a life after death. A place called heaven.
We'll believe it, too.
Oh, no, Lois, I can't let you go.
Oren, I love you. See, I know how to say it now.
Say it again.
Oren, I love you. It sounds like... Orrin, it's a robot patrol. They're looking for us.
All right, come on. This way.
Orrin, wait.
It can't be much farther, darling.
The robots. They're coming. I can see their lights now.
Listen, they stopped.
The lights are swinging round. Orrin, they see us.
Come on. Look, Lois, look ahead. You can see the lights reflecting from something.
It looks like a lead door.
Yes. Come on through. There must be some way to close it. Oh, yes, here.
Let me help.
Well, they won't get through that. It's solid lead.
Orrin, I feel so strange. Where are we?
I don't know.
Look, up there. A huge round light.
Lois.
Yes, Orrin.
Lois, that's Luna. The moon. We're on the surface.
How strange and red everything looks. How it glows.
It's the radioactivity.
Quiet and peaceful. And deadly.
Hush, darling, hush. Sit here and rest a while.
Put your arm around me. Orrin, I'm afraid. Orrin, we're going to die.
Don't think about that. Just think about us. Alone. The first humans to stand on the surface of Earth in 1,100 years. That door must have been placed there by the last handful of survivors who went underground after the atomic wars.
Those other lights, the small ones, they must be stars. Orrin, I'm so tired.
Go to sleep, darling. Put your head on my shoulder and sleep.
Hold me, Orrin. Hold me very close. Orrin.
Mm-hmm.
Orrin, wake up.
Hmm? What?
Look, it's light. The whole universe is light. Oh, Orrin, how beautiful. Look.
This must be the heaven my mother talked about.
See the plants? All green and fresh. And the birds. How strange they look.
Lois, this isn't heaven.
But we must be dead, Orrin. We should be dead. The radiation.
By all the laws of nature, yes.
By all the laws of nature. Orrin. Orrin, we're not dead. This is Earth. And we're alive. We're not going to die.
But, Lois, the radiation, it's present. You can see its effect.
Orrin, did you ever hear of geotropism?
I'm not a geneticist.
There is a natural law of adaptation by which an organism will try to adjust itself to its environment by changing. It's called geotropism, don't you see?
No.
All these generations we've been bombarded by radiation filtering down through the Earth. Each successive generation must have inherited some degree of immunity.
But...
Orrin, it can't hurt us. Don't you see? We're immune. We're probably the first generation to inherit sufficient immunity.
But, darling, if that's true, then we can transmit that immunity. We can pass it along to our children.
And they to their children. Come on. We'll have to find food and water.
The practical life. Wait a minute.
What are you doing with that rock?
I want to scratch something on the outside of this lead door.
Lois and Orrin.
4195 A.D.
Hello, tomorrow.
You're listening to the Golden Age of Radio Theater. We'll continue in just a moment with Archie Andrews. The Golden Age of Radio Theater continues now with Archie Andrews from, this would be July 13th, 1949. Fred, played by Arthur Q. Bryan, gets a sunburn. Meaty stuff they come up with on this show.
Hello?
Hello, Jughead. This is Archie. Come over right away.
I can't, Archie. I'm making myself a Kraft chocolate malted.
But, Jug, it's a matter of life or death.
Relax, Archie. Relax.
Yes, here he is again, the youngster millions of readers of Archie Comics magazine, known and loved so well. Yes, here's Archie Andrews and all the gang. Now for our weekly visit to Riverdale. It's early Saturday afternoon as we look in on the Andrews home, and we find Mrs. Andrews working in the living room.
Summertime, when the living is easy. Fish are jumping and the living... Oh, Fred, is that you?
I think so, but I'm not sure.
You think so, but you're not sure.
That's right, dear. The man who went out to mow the grass in that backyard an hour ago was young and vigorous. The man you're talking to now is old and feeble.
Fred, you're just a little tired.
And hot. Mary, open a window. It's stifling in here.
Well, Fred, all the windows are open.
Well, turn a fan on.
But we don't need a fan. It's very comfortable in here.
Comfortable? Mary, I feel like I'm on fire.
But it's not that. Fred, did you take your shirt off while you were mowing the grass?
Well, sure. It was so darn hot out there. I had to.
I was afraid of that. Fred, turn around.
Now, Mary, what are you doing?
Just looking down inside your shirt to see your back.
Haven't you ever seen my back before?
Yes. Yes, but not like this.
Like what?
Like what I was afraid of. Fred, we might as well face it. You've got a sunburn that'd make an embarrassed lobster look pale.
Mary, are you sure?
Fred, I'm positive. Unless your grandfather was an Indian.
But I was only out there for an hour or so. I don't see how I could get sunburned so quick.
Well, you did. Why did you ever take your shirt off? You know perfectly well you... Oh, hello, Archie.
Hello, Archie. Mary,
Dad, how's the boy?
Oh, Archie! Don't do that.
Gee whiz, Dad, what's wrong with a friendly little pat on the back?
I don't call that a friendly little pat, and I have a bad sunburn.
Sunburn? Oh, gee whiz, you do?
Yes, I do. Now, would you
Fred,
please...
never mind arguing with Archie. We've got to put something on that burn right away.
Put something on it. Mary, what can you put on it?
Some ointment.
Ointment?
Yes, sunburn ointment to take the sting out of it and heal the burn. Archie, you run down to the drugstore and get some, dear.
Who, me?
Yes, Archie.
Oh, but, Mom, I want to go swimming,
Archie,
and it's late now, and
Archie,
I haven't been swimming
Archie,
all week.
All right, so you want to go swimming, and you haven't been swimming all week. But it won't take you all afternoon to run down to the drugstore, and your father will give you a quarter.
Why, sure. Mary, who'll give him a quarter?
You will?
But he just got his allowance.
Fred, do you want something for your sunburn, or do you just want to sit here and blister?
Oh, me. All right, Archie, go to the drugstore, and I'll give you a quarter.
She was okay, I'll go. But, Dad, the next time you get sunburned, I wish you'd do it on a rainy day. Oh, fine time to have to go to the drugstore. A fine time, just when I'm in a hurry. Well, this shouldn't take too long. Well, then I can go swimming anyway. Oh, boy, just look at the crowd in here. And all those people at the drug counter.
Next.
I'll never get waited on.
Hi, Archie.
She was Jughead.
Who'd you expect, Dr. Kildare?
No, Jughead, I did not expect Dr. Kildare or you either.
What are you doing here, Archie?
Well, my father got a sunburn, Jug, and I got to get some ointment for him. But from the looks of this crowd, I'm liable to be here all afternoon.
Oh, it's not so bad, Archie. I've only been here 5 minutes, and they've waited on a lot of people.
Oh, that's good. Are you the last one in?
Uh-huh.
Oh, swell. I'll get behind you, Jug. Then maybe I can get out of here quickly.
What's the hurry?
Because, Jug, I want to go swimming.
Swimming? Gee whiz, you do?
Uh-huh. Hey, listen, didn't that customer he's waiting on come in here after us?
I don't know. Oh, but listen, Archie, I think I'll go swimming with you.
Okay, Jug, but I got to take the ointment home first. So why don't you get your suit and meet me at my house?
Okay, Archie, I'll go home and get it right now. Bye.
Goodbye. But listen, Jug, aren't you waiting to buy something?
Not me, Archie. I only came in the drugstore because it's air-conditioned.
Because... You mean I've been waiting here for... Oh, no.
Mary, what's taking that boy so long?
Fred, I've no idea, but we'd better not wait for him. We'd better put something on your sunburn right now.
Like what?
Like this vinegar.
Vinegar? Mary, I don't want to put vinegar all over me.
Fred, the important thing in a sunburn is to catch it right away. And if we put the vinegar on you now, it'll take some of the soreness out before Archie gets back.
But, Mary,
Fred, I'm only trying to help, you know.
But Oh, me. All right, Mary, put vinegar on me. Put tartar sauce on me. Put ketchup on me. But get it over and done with.
All right. Now, I'll just dab it on with this cotton, dear.
All right, but be careful now. Hey, Mary, that tickles.
Fred, stop squirming.
You stop tickling me and I'll stop squirming. Hurry up, you're killing me.
I'll be through in a minute. Now, turn around so I can do your chest.
Mary, stop now. Now, Mary, don't.
There, I'm all through. Now, how do you feel?
Like a dish of sauerkraut.
Never mind. This will make you feel much better. Oh, dear, now who can that be?
Hello, Mrs. Andrews. Is Archie ready to go swimming yet?
Oh, Jughead. No, Archie isn't back yet, but come on in.
Okay.
It's Jughead, dear.
Oh, hello, Jughead.
Oh, hello, Mr. Andrews. How? Mr. Andrews, you smell.
I smell. Jughead, I do not smell. That's vinegar.
Vinegar?
Yes, vinegar. I have a bad sunburn, and Mrs. Andrews put vinegar on it.
Gee, Mrs. Andrews, did you really put vinegar on Mr. Andrews?
Yes, Jughead. Anything wrong with that?
Well, I don't know. My Uncle Oscar had a bad sunburn once, and he put vinegar on it.
What happened?
He died.
Oh, that's good. What? He died? Jughead, you're fooling.
I am not. Neither was Uncle Oscar. Vinegar's bad for sunburn. It makes the burn worse.
Worse?
Sure, it dries the skin.
Dries the skin?
Makes it blister.
Blister?
Then blood poisoning sets in.
Blood poisoning? Oh, dear. Fred, maybe vinegar is the wrong thing.
Well, if it's going to give me blood poisoning, it doesn't sound like the right thing.
Now, Fred, don't be funny. What'll we do?
Call an undertaker.
Just be quiet.
Well, Fred, we'll just have to get some soap and water and wash it off.
What? Oh, now, Mary,
Fred,
I can't.
it's the only way. I'll get a pot of soapy water and a washcloth.
But, Mary, Oh, me. How do I get into these things?
I bet that's what my Uncle Oscar said when they put him in the coffin.
Chuck, this is no time for jokes.
Okay, Mr. Andrews, okay. Oh, but do you want me to call my mother and ask her what you should put on sunburn?
No, Jughead, don't bother your mother about...
Oh, it's no trouble, Mr. Andrews, no trouble.
But, Jughead,
Soap and water here. Now, you stand still while I sponge that vinegar off.
Mary,
Fred?
Oh, me. All right, Mary, sponge the vinegar off. At least I won't smell like a pickle anymore.
Now, Fred, turn around so I can wash your back.
All right, but I don't know how I let you talk me to... Oh, Mary, that's freezing.
Fred, it had to be cool. Oh. You can't put hot water on a sunburn and stand still.
Well, hurry up.
All right. Just a little more.
Oh.
There, I'm all finished.
Ooh.
Now, was that so bad?
Oh, no, that was fine. Delightful. It was
Gee
lovely.
whiz.
Oh, what'd your mother say, Jug?
She said it wasn't vinegar they put on my Uncle Oscar after all. It was soap and water.
Good, it's soap and water. Oh, no.
Oh, dear. Jughead, are you sure?
Uh-huh. She says vinegar is fine for sunburns. The acid takes all the sting out.
Oh, dear.
That's fine. Jughead, how can you be so...
Fred, what's the matter?
Mary, that cold water gave me a chill.
Fred, are you sure?
Positive.
He must be cold. His knees are knocking so hard they're playing Christmas carols.
Jug, don't be funny.
Oh, dear, your teeth are chattering.
The sunburn ointment.
Archie, never mind the sunburn ointment now. Run back to the drugstore and get something for a chill.
Yeah.
For a what?
A chill.
Gee whiz, who wants a chill?
Nobody wants one. Your father has one.
Gee whiz, Dad, you do?
I sure do.
In this weather?
Archie, never mind the questions and go back to the store, dear.
But, Mom, I just went all the way down there and back.
Archie,
and I want to go swimming in a few minutes.
Archie,
and
I
it's
know...
a long walk to the
Archie,
drugstore.
for pity's sake, don't argue now. Go back to the store and your father will give you another quarter.
Another quarter of it. Mary,
This is no time to argue about quarters. You can't stand here and shiver like that. Now, Archie, go ahead.
Gee whiz, okay, Mom, I'll go. But I sure wish Dad would make up his mind whether he's hot or cold. Gee whiz, just when I'm all set to go swimming, I have to go back to the drugstore. Oh, and look at that. It's just as busy as it was before. Boy, I'll never get waited on. I'll probably...
Archie, hello.
Well, Betty, what are you doing here?
Well, Mother wanted some drug supplies, so I came down to get them for her. What are you doing here?
Well, my dad has a bad sunburn, and, well, Mom wants me to get something for his chills. This line isn't moving very fast, is it?
Well, they've waited on lots of people since I came in here.
Oh, good. I'm in an awful hurry.
How come?
Well, I want to go swimming.
Swimming?
Mm-hmm.
Golly, Archie, I was just thinking what a swell day this is for swimming. May I go with you?
Sure, Betty, if I ever get waited on.
Oh, golly, thanks, Archie. We'll have a wonderful time.
Yeah, sure.
I love swimming better than anything else.
Me too. Hey, where'd that customer come from? He wasn't here before.
But I hate to go swimming alone, don't you?
Yes, Betty.
I'll go right home, Archie, and get my bathing suit and meet you at your house. So long.
But, Betty, what about the things you wanted to buy?
Things I wanted to buy? Well, Archie, I already bought them. I was on my way out when you came in.
On your way out? You mean I was standing in the wrong line again? Oh, no.
Mary, what's taking Archie so long?
Fred, I don't know, but put this blanket around you till he gets back here.
Here's the hot water, Mrs. Andrews.
Oh, thanks, Jughead. Fred, put your feet in that basin and you'll feel much better. Oh, Jughead, will you answer the door, please?
Okay, Mrs. Andrews.
Now, Fred, get your shoes and socks off.
I'm just trying to.
It's Betty, Mrs. Andrews.
Hello, Mrs. Andrews.
Hello.
Is Archie ready to go swimming yet? Golly, what's the matter with Mr. Andrews?
I got a cold.
Oh, golly. Archie said you had a sunburn.
Cold.
Golly, Mrs. Andrews, my father had a bad chill last month, and Mother fixed it up in no time. You want me to call and ask her what she used?
Betty, that might be a good idea, dear.
All right, I'll call right now.
All right, dear. Jug, get Mr. Andrews' shoes and socks off while I wrap this blanket around him.
Okay, Mrs. Andrews.
Now, wrap this around you nice and tight, dear.
Yeah, I will, but I've never been so cold.
Gee whiz.
Well, what's the matter, Jughead?
Nothing. But has Mr. Andrews got big feet?
Oh, fine.
Jughead, never mind how big they are. Get the shoes and socks off.
I did.
All right. Now, if you... Yes, Betty?
My mother says the best thing for a chill is a hot water bottle.
Oh, dear, I forgot all about that. A hot water bottle is a very good idea. I still had some hot water on the stove. Now, Jug, you get the hot water bottle out of the storage closet, and Betty, you help him fill it, huh?
All right, Mrs. Andrews. Come on, Jug.
Okay. Now, Fred, put your feet in this basin of water, dear.
All right, dear, I will. Yo, Mary, that's hot.
Well, Fred, of course it's hot. It's got to warm you up, dear.
But it doesn't have to burn me up.
Fred, it isn't going to burn you up.
Oh.
Now, get your feet in there.
All right, dear, all right. Woo, that's hot.
There. Now, how do you feel?
I feel better, but I'm still cold.
Well, as soon as you get that hot water bottle under that blanket, you'll feel fine.
Here's the hot water bottle, Mr.
Oh,
Andrews.
good. Fred, take it right under the blanket and hold it close to your chest.
All right, give it to me.
There. Now, wrap your blanket around you
I
again.
will.
Stop her to the hot water bottle, Mrs. Andrews.
Jughead, you mean that bottle had no stopper in it?
Gee, I guess I forgot.
Oh, dear.
Oh, good grief. Look at that, all over my pants.
Fred, you're dripping. Golly.
Jughead, don't I have enough trouble without your
Fred,
giving
this
me...
is no time to start arguing with Jughead. And please stop dripping all over the rug.
Mary, I'm not arguing with Jughead, and I can't help dripping.
Fred, you can so just step into the basin. If you must drip, drip in there.
But I want to go up and get these wet pants off.
Fred, you can take them off right here.
What? In front of the kids?
Fred, not in front of them. You can put on your bathrobe and then slip your pants off under
But
it.
I don't...
Jug, get Mr. Andrews a bathrobe out of that closet.
All right, Mrs. Andrews.
Golly, I'm awfully sorry, Mr. Andrews.
But never mind the apologies. The damage is done.
Here's the bathrobe, Mr. Andrews.
Put that on, Fred, and then slip your trousers.
All right, Mary, all right. Now, wait till I get the bathrobe.
Oh, Mom, here are the pills Mr. Pringle sent over to stop Dad's chills. Oh, hi, Betty.
Hello, Archie. Archie, that's fine. Fred, you'll have to take these pills right away, dear. It'll stop your chill.
Mary, who's got chills?
Who's got chills? Fred, you had a chill a minute ago.
Well, I don't have one now. With that blanket and the basin of hot water and a bathrobe and the hot water bottle, I'm burning up again.
Huh? Fred, are you sure?
Mary, I'm positive.
Oh, golly, just look at his face.
Gee whiz, Dad, is that perspiration?
He's not defrosting.
Oh, for pity's sake. Fred, I wonder if you're running a fever.
Mary, I am not running a fever. This bathrobe is so hot
Fred,
that
I think you are running a fever.
But I'm not-
Archie, you run right back to the drugstore and tell Mr. Pringle your father is sweating now after the chills, and what should he take for it?
Oh, but Mom, listen, I've already been to that drugstore twice.
Yes, Archie,
And I still want to go swimming.
Archie,
and what a way to spend a hot Saturday afternoon, running back and forth to the drugstore.
Archie, all right. I know you want to go swimming, dear, and I know you've been to the drugstore twice, and I'm sorry. But you have to make one more trip, and your father will give you another
Mary,
quarter.
who'll give him a quarter?
Fred, be quiet. Now go ahead, Archie.
Gee whiz, okay, Mom. But one more trip, and you'll have to send someone to the drugstore for me.
We'll return to Archie Andrews in just a moment. Arthur Q. Bryan, who was appearing as Fred Andrews, played Floyd the Barber on The Great Gildersleeve, and on the Fibber McGee and Molly Show was Doc Gamble.
Gee whiz, the store is still jammed. I'll never get to go swimming this way.
Why, Archie. Hello. Hi, y'all Archiekins. It's awful good to see y'all, Archie. Dear. But whatever are you all doing here?
Well, Veronica, my father's got a sunburn, and I have to get some medicine for his fever, and this is about my 40th trip down here. Have you been here long?
No, I just got here, Archie.
Good. Then I'll get waited on right after you, but I hope it doesn't take too long.
Next.
What's the hurry?
Well, Jug and Betty and I are going swimming.
My goodness, you are?
Yeah, why?
Well, I'm going home to get my bathing suit and go swimming as soon as I get through here.
Next.
She was yours?
Uh-huh.
Well, listen, Veronica, how about meeting us over at my house, and then you can drive us all out to the lake?
Oh, all right, Archie. I'll be glad to. I'll go home right now. Goodbye.
Goodbye? But, Veronica, what about the things you wanted to buy?
Oh, I didn't want to buy anything, Archie. I just came in to get an ice cream soda, but that can wait.
Get a soda? You mean I'm wrong again? Oh, no.
Mary, will you please tell me why we can't send that boy to the drugstore on a simple errand without having him take all day?
Fred, I've no idea. Do you still feel warm?
Mary, I feel like I'm about to boil over.
Oh, dear. Well, Fred, I'll get some ice for that foot basin. That'll make you feel much better.
I'll help you, Mrs. Andrews.
Mary, something better make me feel much better and quick. Oh, fine. Jug, will you answer that?
Okay, Miss Andrews.
Oh, hello, Chuckhead. Is Archie here?
Not yet, Veronica. It's Veronica, Mr. Andrews.
Oh, fine. Hello, Veronica.
My goodness, what are y'all doing in a bathrobe?
Veronica, I am in a bathrobe because I have a bad sunburn, and Mrs. Andrews' home remedies are making it worse.
My goodness, you look awful hot.
I am hot. I'm burning up.
My goodness. My father had an awful sunburn last week, and we fixed it up in 2 hours.
2 hours? Really? What'd you do?
I don't remember, but I'll call Mother and find out.
Jug, tell Mrs. Andrews I want to...
Andrews, I just spoke to my mother about your sunburn.
What'd she say?
Well, she says the best cure in the world for sunburn is tea leaves.
Tea leaves?
Veronica, did you say tea leaves?
Uh-huh. You put wet tea leaves right on the burn.
Veronica, I never heard of anything like that.
Well, our doctor told Mother about it. The tannic acid in the tea cures the burn and heals the skin. And at the same time, the wet leaves cool you off.
Fred, here's the ice. Oh, Veronica, when did you get here?
Oh, just a few minutes ago.
And her mother says tea leaves are good for a sunburn. Did you ever hear of such nonsense?
Well, Fred, of course they are. I forgot all about that.
Huh?
Tea leaves are the finest thing in the world for a sunburn.
Mary,
Veronica, I'm glad you reminded me of that. Jughead, go get a pot of water and a box of tea.
Okay, Mrs. Andrews.
Now, Mary, I think you're going too far.
Now, Fred, for the last time, a sunburn has to be treated properly, just like any burn.
Yeah, but how are you going to put wet tea leaves on me?
Well, it's easy. You just stand in that basin again so you won't start dripping tea all over the floor and take your bathrobe off.
Stand here in my shorts in front of all these kids?
Fred, you don't have to stand here in your shorts. Just lower your bathrobe and wrap it around you like a kind of skirt.
Oh, no,
It'll
Mary.
cure your sunburn in no time, Miss Ranger.
but I...
Fred, must you always be so difficult?
Mary, can I help it if my mother didn't raise me to be a tea bag?
Fred, never mind the jokes and get into that basin.
Show me. All right, Mary. But I don't know why I do this.
Here's the tea, Mrs. Andrews.
And here's the water.
Oh, that's fine.
I brought some sugar and lemon, too.
Jughead, we don't need the sugar and lemon. Now, Fred, turn around so we can put these tea leaves on your back.
All right, Mary, all right. Put tea leaves on me. Put coffee beans on me for all I care. Just a walking grocery store anyhow.
Now, Fred, stop complaining. Jug, you put some tea on Mr. Andrews' chest.
Okay.
Mary, that stuff's cold.
Oh, Fred, you said you were hot, didn't you?
He doesn't look so hot now.
Jug, be quiet. Put some on his shoulder, Veronica.
All right, Mrs. Andrews.
And put some on his arm, Betty.
All right, Mrs. Andrews.
Boy, I can't figure out whether you got a low chest or a high stomach.
Jug, never mind the jokes.
Fred, stand still. For goodness sake.
Mary, how much longer does this go on? This isn't the Boston Tea Party, you know.
Oh, Fred, it's just another minute. There, I'm all through now. How does that feel?
Wet and sloppy.
Well, you'll feel much better in just a few minutes. I'll put this dish and this tea back in the kitchen.
But, Mary, now what do I do?
Well, just stand there for a minute and stop complaining.
Mary, I am not... Oh, good grief. Was that the front door?
Yeah, I'll get it.
Jug, no, wait a minute.
I don't mind, Mr. Andrews.
No, but Jug, come back. I can't let anyone see me like this.
Fred, get back in that basin.
But, Mary, there's someone at the door.
I don't care who's at the door. You can't get tea all over the room.
Mary, I can't...
My mother, Mrs. Andrews.
Oh, your mother? Oh, no.
Fred, get back in that basin.
I came over to see if I could help Mrs. Andrews. Ah! What's that?
That's Mr. Andrews, Mrs. Jones. He's covered with tea.
Mary,
Jug, see who that is.
Okay, Mrs. Andrews.
Jug, no,
It was sweet of you to drop in, Mrs. Jones, but I think you'll be all right now.
Mary, I've got to...
Fred, stay in that basin.
Mrs. Cooper.
Oh, no, Mary, I've got to go.
Hello, dear. Hello, Mrs. Andrews. I came over to... Land's sake, what's that?
Mrs. Cooper, I can...
That's my husband, Mrs. Cooper.
Mary, I can...
Jug, answer that.
Okay, Mrs. Andrews.
Well, what on earth has he got on
Mrs.
him?
Cooper,
Tea leaves.
Mary, please.
Mrs. Lodge, Mrs.
Oh,
Andrews.
no.
Mother! Hello, Miss Andrews. I came over to help you.
Oh.
Oh, no. Is that Mr. Andrews?
Mary, please.
Oh, that's the funniest thing I've ever seen. I never heard of tea for sunburn.
Always use oatmeal poultice.
Now, just a minute here. Just a minute. Quiet, please. Quiet. That's better. Now, listen to me, all of you. This has gone too far. Too far, in fact.
Yes, Mr. Andrews.
Yes, dear.
You mean tea for?
Jughead, be quiet. Now, half an hour ago, I happened to come into this house with a little sunburn. And what happens? My wife gets all excited and starts giving me home remedies. And all these kids start calling their mothers. Then the mothers come over here to help out and find me standing in a basin covered with tea leaves like I was a monkey in a zoo. Now, I appreciate your good intentions, but I'll be a lot happier if you'll all forget I have a sunburn.
Yes, Mr. Andrews.
Yes, dear.
It's forgotten.
Jug, be quiet. Now, you ladies can just go home again, and you kids can just go swimming as soon as Archie gets back here, and I, for one, have heard all I want to hear about sunburn. Here's Archie now.
Here's the medicine, Dad.
Thank you, Archie, but I don't need it. So you can just take your friends and go swimming right now.
Gee, I don't think I'd better, Dad.
Huh?
I ran back and forth to the drugstore so much, I got an awful sunburn.
Sunburn? Oh, no.
From July 13th, 1949, we've presented Archie Andrews on the golden age of radio theater. In just a moment, more than you probably wanted to know about that show. If you get the idea that Archie Andrews wasn't one of my most favorite programs, well, you're probably right. But as I said at the outset of our program, you could be watching television, and by that comparison, it ain't all that bad. And now here's more than you probably wanted to know about Archie Andrews, based on the characters created by Bob Montana in his popular comic strip. The program, in the form we've heard it this time, was on NBC from 1946 to 1953. It was sustained mostly by the network, but was sponsored by Swift & Company from 1947 to 1948. There was another incarnation of it on Mutual as a daily 15-minute program that began May 1943. Archie Andrews was produced and directed by Kenneth McGregor. This is Victor Ives speaking, thanking you for being with us and inviting you to join us next time we relive the golden moments of radio's yesteryear and bring you the greatest radio shows of all time. Not Archie Andrews. Thank you so much for being with us. Join us again.
For a copy of today's program, call 1-800-326-0296 and refer to show number 7. That number again is 1-800-326-0296. And remember to refer to show number 7.